And we're live on YouTube. So welcome everyone. Welcome to this episode of How to Be a Medium. And really it's got quite a few things that you've got to take into account when wanting to develop mediumship. And that's one, learn to raise your frequency. One thing you've got to learn when you want to become a medium is learn to raise your frequency at will. Because what mediums actually do when they make contact with the spirit world is they raise their frequency at will. They'll just, at the moment they think about connecting to the spirit world, within 2 seconds, they can have a contact. Within 2 seconds, they can get information. And once you know that, mediumship is about learning to move your consciousness from your thinking, daily thinking, into the consciousness of being in connection with the spirit world. And it's knowing how it feels. So when you want to be a medium, you've got to learn to first build your power up, your energy, your frequency, and to raise it. And I do have a little thing on here about sitting in the power on YouTube, but you can look that up later if you want to. But it's really good to know about it, because when you can raise your frequency to a higher vibration, you get a stronger contact with the spirit world. And what we actually do as mediums is we raise our frequency like through love and wanting to connect. So we're moving our energy upwards to connect to the spirit world. And at the same time, what the spirit world, they're bringing their energy down at the same time to connect to us. And so the bridge between the two worlds is love. So the frequency of love and the frequency of shifting your energy, which is basically when you learn to do that in a quick way and a confident way, then you can get a good link with the spirit world. So learn to become a medium. One thing, learning to raise your frequency quickly. Positive thinking helps, because you've got to think positive. You've got to think, right, have I got this contact with the spirit world? Is the information correct? Am I bringing through spirit the way that it should be brought? Am I bringing through good information? All these questions you shouldn't have. You should just think, trust that you have the link, trust that you have the contact. And at the moment that you have contact with the spirit world, what you bring through should be correct. And that can take practice. And I think the main thing is, when you want to be a medium or you want to learn mediumship, a lot of people try to run before they can actually walk. And they say to master anything takes 10,000 hours to master something. You know, if you're academically wanting to learn something at a very high standard, it could take more than 5 years work to master it to that standard. And so what people think with mediumship, they think, oh, okay, I'll do mediumship and, you know, I'll learn it as quick as possible. And so the thing is to get into a good development group, or into a church circle or a development group where you can just work and practice with people that you feel confident about practicing with. And when you do that, you'll be practicing and seeing how it works and how your mediumship works. Because the discovery of mediumship is opening up to your own self-discovery of yourself, because you're unfolding gifts within you, which is getting contact with your sensitivity, with your third eye, with your sixth sense. You're opening that sixth sense up, and you need to do it in a place where you can feel you're getting the right feedback, the right training. So I am one for, if you do feel that you've got a gift, go to circles, go to practice, certainly go to places where you can learn it at a high level, because that will bring you further. Because at the end of the day, what I've noticed that with mediumship is that what makes it go wrong is normally lack of confidence. Lack of confidence, not enough hours putting in, can make the link not as stable as it should be. But when you have been sitting in the power, and I'd say, you know, sit in the power, if you can sit in the power for like 2 years, you're going to see your mediumship excel. And what I mean about sitting in the power is like every day, sitting in the power of raising your frequency every day. That sort of commitment, you know, will bring you your mediumship to a totally different standard, just having that sort of commitment. And if you don't do it, then you won't do it. Just think about all these people that are like Olympics, working for the Olympics, or they're wanting to train to be an Olympian. They want to be the best. Well, they're not going to do it by doing it by half. they've really got, to get those to get there, they have to practice every day. And that's what, what, if you want to be the best, that's what you got to do. If you want to do this as a hobby and you want to be as a medium as a hobby, yeah, do it for fun. Take off the pressure. Enjoy the development. Find a developed group that you can work in, get in contact with, and develop with them. You can do this these days online. You can do this in different ways, but just know that these development groups are a safe place where you can learn. If you feel that you're ever in a development group that doesn't resonate with you or it doesn't work, then just find another one. There's plenty of them out there. So if you feel that there's anything you'd like to write me a hi, if you like what I'm saying, please give us a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to hear about more of my stuff. It's really good to support me in that way, but it's also good for me to share knowledge with people to keep them up to date. So yeah, if you want to be a medium, raising your frequency, learn into it, and if you can do it, make a contact with the spirit world as many times as possible. So practice. It's like, practice builds confidence. But you need to be practicing in the right circumstances, in a nice, relaxed way, in the right circumstances where you're getting the right tutoring, or you're getting the right development, or the right mentoring. And when you do that, then you'll be like focusing on, okay, I can build up my confidence here. So that makes it in a way, because you may be getting information, and some people do in the beginning when they're mediumship, they'll get information, they'll be seeing pictures, or they'll be feeling the spirit world, or they may be using the sense of smell, hearing, the sight, the taste, or even knowing, right? So all these different things, the six senses. So that's what we use as mediums. That's what we use within our faculties. And that's like our toolbox. Only some people will be using more of the seeing and more of the feeling. Welcome to those joining me. Thank you for saying hello. And if you're enjoying this, please give us a like, and don't forget to follow me. It's good to have you here. But yeah, if you're seeing stuff, trust what you're seeing. I've always learned from my tutors in the past, if you're seeing it, it's got to be there. It's got to be true. So you've got to check it out to see if it's true. And if you're feeling it, you've got to feel it. You've got to know it. You've got to feel, okay, is it true? This information comes through in everyone's mediumship in different ways. Now, I know that some students say to me, oh, sometimes it's not easy. I said, well, it isn't easy, because it's multitasking. It's like communicating with the spirit world, listening very carefully to what you're receiving. Sometimes there's a little bit of translation going in yourself. How can I put this into words? And then bringing those words to your recipient, and then your recipient's got to understand the words that you're saying, knowing that that is their loved one in the spirit world. Now, you see how complex that can be. So at the same time, you're speaking to one person in the spirit world on one high frequency, but you're also speaking to people here on a different frequency. And you've got to switch between the two when you're speaking. And it's like keeping that contact with the spirit world at all times, but still being able to communicate with people in a decent way in this world. So yeah, it's very complex, but it's knowing how your mediumship works. If you see, believe that you can see. So if you've got clairvoyance, you can, believe in your clairvoyance. If you've got clairsentience, the feelings, then believe in that clairsentience. Believe in what you get. Believe in what you receive, and that will move you forward within your mediumship. If you're getting the clairaugustance, or the clair tasting, so the smelling or the tasting, or your clair audience and your hearing, these things, this is how you may be hearing spirit. And it's like, how is it coming in? Is it coming in a certain way? Know your mediumship. And to be a medium is to know how your mediumship works, like inside and out, so that if you suddenly think, oh, hold on, I'm hearing something, then you can trust what you're hearing. It's not, oh, I think I might be hearing something, then you're going to know you're going to get a no. All right. It's as simple as that. You'll get a no when you think you're getting something, you'll get a no, because it's not about thinking. It's about receiving and giving what you get. Because if you can receive and give what you get, you're going to be the closest to what the spirit world wants to say. You're conveying the message. And you hear this like many times, people want to be the clear channel. Now, you want to be as clear a channel as you can be, but you need to remember when developing mediumship, you're using your mind. And what people don't realize is when the spirit world actually connect in to your central cortex, into your central nervous system, and they use your central nervous system to use your ideas, your information. They can cause you to see pictures. They can even show you scenes where they used to live. They can make you feel stuff. They can make you smell stuff. They're using that as sensory things that your body uses. So you are in connection when you receive that information. And it's learning to trust. And once you learn to trust how the information's coming, and you're in a good group where you can practice and you can really work on how your mediumship works, then you're going to grow into a better medium. And that's the thing you've got to be thinking about. It's like, how would you like to do this, and how would you like to unfold it? So just to recap a little bit, don't forget, sit in the power as much as you can. If you can, do 2 years. Give yourself a 30-day stint. Tick it off on the calendar. That's what I used to do, and then say, right, okay, I'm going to go again. Try another 30 days. In that way, you'll see your mediumship like shift and get better just through the raising the ability of the frequency of your own energy. Because imagine you're raising your frequency up, the spirit world are raising their frequency down. So because you raise your frequency that little bit higher, the spirit world don't need to do as much work, so more information can come through. Simple, right? When you think about it, if you work that out mathematically, you're going to give more force going up, or if you're going to get into physics, more force going up and then less force coming down. But yet, because they've got less energy coming down, they can give more information. So that's a choice you've got to make. How would you like to develop your mediumship? Do you want to do your mediumship the right way, the best way that you can do? Then find someone that resonates with you, find a good teacher, find a good circle, and get yourself working in the right way. I'm just trying to read someone's question here. They said, how many minutes are necessary? It depends what you're doing within your mediumship. If you wanted to actually learn the style of demonstrating mediumship, the connection that you have with the spirit world demonstrating mediumship, they normally say 7 to 7.5 minutes. And if you're going to do 2 links demonstrating mediumship, they'd say 15 minutes. And the reason being is because we can hold our frequency for a certain amount of time with one contact in a demonstration. Because when you in a demonstration of mediumship, you've got like 50 people sitting there, and you've got to give as many contacts as possible in the 2 hours that you're standing there. So within the 7 minutes, you can get through quite a few contacts, so that you're serving spirit more than a few times in a demonstration. So 7 to 7.5 minutes. They say that after about 6.5 minutes, the energy starts to drop, because spirit world knows just as much intelligence as we do. They know, oh, it's coming to the end now. And that's when you know, okay, it's time to round this off. And normally we finish with some sort of message. And the message you can find will probably be in the first bits of evidence that would be given within your contact. So if you've got a man coming in and he's talking about a watch, and he's talking about how he's left that watch to his daughter, and then suddenly you're feeling, oh, what's he trying to say? And he may be talking about the time that he took, the precious time that he took to enjoy life. Well, there you go. That might be the first things that he said, and that would be his message that he wanted to say to his daughter. Would be, don't forget to take the time to enjoy your life. It's now time for you. And so it's spirit world are very intelligent to use the least amount of energy to bring the most information through, and it's knowing how to translate that. Now imagine you want to be a medium, and you're like, it's like learning a new language. Now if I teleported you all now into China and get on with it, communicate, would you say that within 1 week you would be an expert? Come on, give me some yeses and nos. And if you're liking what I'm saying, just give me a like, and it's nice to know that you're enjoying it. But if you were teleported there and into China, and you'd be like, you've been trying to speak Chinese, would you be an expert in a week? No. Would you be an expert in that language in a year? Probably not. It may take quite a few years before you actually can speak the language. But how long would it take you to really understand that language, right? And to be fluent in it? It might take 3 years. It might take 3.5 years. So there's a lot of people that get empowered and touched within their soul, and they really want to develop their mediumship as quick as possible. And they start running. And I have to say to them, you don't need to run. You'll get there. All you need to do is take step by step and just go forwards. Step by step, you will get there. And step by step, your mediumship will unfold and you'll get better. Somebody just asked, do I teach trance channeling? And that's we would call that trance. In England, we call it something else, but in America, they'll probably call it trance channeling. We'd call it trance speaking, but I know what you mean, Adam. So very good. I do. I have a trance. You can look on my website www.jasongoldsworthy.com. I do some trance teaching there, where I'll be taking people on a year course to develop that trance speaking, and also different trance aspects from healing and all that sort of thing is in that same program. But if you want to take a look and you'll find it there. So yes, I do. What is the right time per day to sit in the power? Now, a good question. I like to do it in the mornings. The reason I do it in the mornings, how many times when you plan something in the afternoon, the kids turn up, something turns up, somebody rings you on the phone, and you don't end up not doing it? It's like, if I'm going to do something in the mornings, I know I'll get it done, and then it's out the way, and I've got the rest of the day off. And the reason I do it is because also, did you know that when you wake up in the morning, your consciousness is coming out of it's coming out of delta from that deep sleep, and you're coming into theta. So when you wake up, you're coming into theta. So you're in that mellow state of consciousness. And where you want to be in your mediumship is in the alpha, in between the alpha and the theta. So when you're sitting in that meditation, it's really easy to slip on in to that meditation, to that sitting in the power, and it becomes good, because once you get it done, it's done for the day, you see. But if you plan it at 6 o'clock at the night, how often do you sometimes get that call, or people turn up, or things happen, and it will just get confused. I wouldn't sit in the power in the evening. The reason I wouldn't sit in the power in the evening is because it will keep you awake. I mean, I used to do it, and then I stopped doing it, because when I was going through my development, I wasn't sleeping very well, because when you empower yourself with that frequency, it's going to wake you up. It's going to make you really want to grow within your mediumship. And so, and you'll be like really ready to connect to spirit, and then you're going to try and sleep. So it's like, giving yourself an electric charge and energizing yourself before you sleep. So not a good time to do this in the evening, but definitely a good time to do it in the mornings, because think about that cup of coffee in the mornings, it gives you a boost. And when you do sitting in the power in the morning, you get it done. So the things I do in the morning, my morning routine is, I'm going to get my fitness done in the morning. I'm going to get my sitting in the power done in the morning. If I'm going to do any meditating, I'll do it in the morning. I get it all done before I get on with my day. So that's something I'd like to tell you guys about. So yes, so anyway, here I've got another question coming in here. How would you identify if someone has astral implants, blockages preventing them from channeling? Is that even possible to have such a preventing channeling? Can you give some examples? I have heard about this, Adam. It was very popular in the 1990s in spiritualism, where people were on about these implants and blockages preventing them channeling. really, in effect, it was found out not to be real. It was basically what your mind can create. If you can create a blockage, you can create your own blockages. If you believe you have a blockage, you have a blockage. If you believe that you have a clear aura, you will have a clear aura. Where your mind follows, and mind over matter, think about it, right? You think about all these kung fu masters, and you think about all these Buddhist monks, and how they, like, their mind over matter, that they can move their energy at will. And we can do that. We have the ability, our soul has an ability, and our spirit and soul and energy has an ability to shift energy so quickly, there is nothing that can stand in the way. So the only blockages that we can create is our mental blockages, and those mental blockages can feel like physical blockages. Believe me, they can. And then if you can, like, just, you can use your own energy to shift that and move it out the way. There are certain blockages which I would like to talk about on that. I know people that are on medication, then they will be blocked to prevent channeling, because they need to spend time on self-care, and the medication can have an effect and cause some sort of a block. Emotional blockages that you have within your body can feel physical as well, only when the mind runs wild, and we're not a pure channel, and we may think, oh, it might be an implant, it might be this, it might be that. You got to think about it. No, when you calm down and you feel it, it might just be something emotional. It might be something physical. Is it even possible to have such preventing channeling? Can you give some examples? I've never had anything preventing me from doing trance speaking. Not even, not at all. And I've never had that with mediumship either. The only thing I would say is that emotional blockages, things that have happened in your life that come up, when you deal with them, you can move them. So anything that's within your body that feels like energy, you can shift. And when you think about your body being energy, nothing can stick to energy. Energy doesn't stick to each other, because energy is energy. Energy blends and then moves out, and blends and moves out. Our body is physical, but it's also energy. So you've got to look at it like this. And this is, when you look at quantum physics, energy doesn't stick to energy. Energy blends together. It's like you can blend stuff into our bodies, but then if it's energetic, we can also move it away. Now we've got, when you sit in the power yourself, do you start with earth energy energizing, Jason, or do you use just for making contacts? No, I do use the earth energization as well, but it just depends what I'm feeling like. I'm going to be doing a power series coming up. It's on my Facebook page. It's also on my website, www.jasongoldsworthy.com, and it's going to be about all the different ways of sitting in the power, because there are so many different ways, and they can be used for so many different ways, you see. So you can, like, use it for your own confidence building. You can use it to empower yourself to connect to the spirit world. You can use it to, like, bring through that really strong energy to ground yourself. There's also a way to heal yourself in that way, to clear your aura and all that sort of thing. There's so many different ways to sit in the power. But when you're sitting in the power for mediumship, mediumship to connect with the spirit world, it needs to be like a fast connective power. It needs to be a power where you can connect, you feel alive, you feel like you've had 10 cappuccinos or whatever. When you have so many cups of coffee, you think, yes, I'm ready to go. That's how the power should feel. It shouldn't be that you sit in the power and feel like, oh, I'm going to sleep, because that's not what you want when you're developing mental mediumship to work as a medium connecting to the spirit world. However, if you want to develop trance mediumship, then you can go into the relaxive state, because you want to be getting into the theta. That's getting into the deeper consciousness and relaxing a little bit more. You want to get down into the delta, and to get there, you want to be in the most relaxed state that you can be. So there's different powers. Even for sitting in trance, there's a different power. Thanks. You do you sit up straight? Yeah. I would say, if you can and have the ability to sit up straight when sitting in the power, yes, do sit up straight. And if you can do that, that's a good thing. You'll sit up straight when sitting in the power. It helps with the alignment of the energy, helps energy shift, and you get into some sort of flow. right? Which is a good thing. If you don't have the ability to sit up straight because of back problems or anything like that, and you put a cushion, it's okay, no problem. Is it possible to channel source consciousness? If so, how would that be different from channeling any other entities? Adam, I think it's just a question of language. I don't call them entities. I call them spirit people, people with a consciousness, because to me, they're just as living as you and me. And it's just a question. And I know, I know how you're meaning it. But I would say if you were going to channel source consciousness, right, you're channeling information of everything, right? So you're channeling the information of everything. And when you're inspired speaking, and you're inspired or your higher guide through your higher guides to bring through information, and you're talking about that sort of thing, it can be wonderful, and it can feel like it's amazing. But you can basically, we are in connection with anything. That's what I'd like to say. We're in connection with the spirit world. We're in connection with the source consciousness. We're in connection with the universal consciousness. We're in the connection with our soul consciousness. We're in connection with spirit consciousness. We're in connection with so many different things. So many different things are possible. But the thing to remember is, it's like there has to be some sort of a need to channel or to inspiredly speak about that certain thing. So you may have someone sitting opposite you, and you'll suddenly start to talk, and they needed to hear certain words. And one of my guides that I was speaking through, he was speaking through me, and he said, about 1 minute, he said something like, somebody asked, "Oh, what's the name?" And he said, "It's not about the name. It's about the message." And I've heard that that's been written in books years ago, that it is about the message. Do you have any books that are best methodology on how to channel? Books on channeling, I think you can Google it, because I don't really do channeling, but trance speaking I do. And if that's what you mean, which is where you go into a deeper state of consciousness, you shift your consciousness into those delta levels, you connect to your guides and spirit inspirers, and when you're sitting in that consciousness, then you let them speak. So then that's a different consciousness. It's a great way. It's a great way to connect to the spirit world and bring through some wonderful messages that are good for us and for our groups, but also humanity. There are books that you can Google on that. I do know that if I was going to look for anyone that had written a book, I'd look for someone that had either worked or been worked at the Arthur Findlay College, because they have a very, very good, strong basis about trance speaking and that sort of thing. I mean, we have a Colin Bates, and we have different people that have done that. You could look up their, see if they have written books that might help for you. How exactly do you measure your levels of consciousness and know what level you're at? I love these questions. I mean, it's nice to have a man on the call, right? Because it's just the way you think, and I like it. But it's like, when you think about it, it's like, how do you measure it? It's a feeling, right? So when you're in your daily consciousness, just imagine when you're thinking, right? When you're in your thinking brain, you can feel, I'm thinking. And when you've been overthinking, you can feel. That's the Arthur Findlay College. So as in Arthur, and then Findlay, and then college. But when you're in your thinking brain, you can feel it. But when you shift your consciousness to the spirit world and to them, then you can feel. And normally when you feel, you're feeling like a really, you're feeling how the energy and information is coming in. At that moment in time, you've shifted your consciousness. You can feel it. You can feel the shift. Now, when you go into different levels of consciousness, so you're normally in the alpha, theta area when you're connecting to the spirit world, because the theta is where the messages of spirit come through and connect through the alpha bridge to us. But you see, that's good to know. But it's like when you're in the theta, when you feel when you wake up, how it feels, and you're in the shower and you're not quite awake, but you're not quite asleep. and you're sort of like in between waking and sleeping. How that feels is how it can feel when you're reaching that theta state. And the moment when you just wake up, you've missed delta. Delta was when you were totally gone. So it's learning, and basically it takes years of practice. When you look at these Buddhist monks that have been sitting in delta for so long, and you can measure them, it's continuous, right? Once they've been measured on these machines to check out consciousness, they've been sitting for years, more than 20 years, to achieve it. And people that do trance, they expect to do it quicker, and there are certain techniques that you can use to speed up the possibility of doing it quicker. But you've got to have respect for the people that have been sitting for so long to be the best at what they do. You've got to have a lot of respect for that. So whether you're choosing to become a medium with your mediumship and you want to connect to the spirit world, or you're wanting to just go into that trance development, there's a lot of things you can do. So remember that it's knowing which way you'd like to go. So for people that want to develop their mediumship, it's about confidence as well. And remember, I've got also on my page, I've got some stuff. If you check on my website, Jason Goldsworthy, or you check on my Facebook, you'll see I've got a confidence block coming up where people can learn to build on that confidence. And once you've got confidence, you've got a solid foundation where you can start bringing through that message is just that little bit stronger, and believing in what you're bringing through. And that makes a lot of difference. If you're liking what I'm saying, give me a like. If you're wanting to ask some questions, ask some questions. Otherwise, I'm going to end up talking to Adam. Hey, Adam, do you change your diet, help you reach a higher state of consciousness? Do you need high vibrational foods for such? Adam, I do. And I really agree in having a high vibrational foods when being a medium or doing anything spiritually. When you think about it, anything that you could consider being low vibration or not good for your body, it's going to bring your energy down. It's going to, if you eat, if you're going to eat takeout and all that sort of thing, it's made fast. It's not made with love. It hasn't got a high frequency. It's been thrown out as quick as possible with lots of stress. And then you eat it and you think, why do I feel tired afterwards? That's why. But when you choose fresh foods, high vibrations, sometimes raw foods, a mixture of raw, a mixture of warm, but really, high vibrational foods, it's going to raise your frequency. It's going to give you that little bit more energy to bring your vibration up. Any other than Alpha College, what are other sources of channeling again? Well, I'd say if you can look for anyone that's worked at the Alpha College, which they've got tutors there, they may have written books about it. And that's good to look at. If you're looking at consciousness, I'd look up Anna Wise, and Anna Wise did Awakening the Mind. So Awakening the Mind by Anna Wise. It's a good book, and it will give you a lot of information about the different levels of consciousness. And I like to be up to date on that sort of thing because, it's good to know what your consciousness is. And it's through practice, many hours of practice, that you can have mastery. And once you have mastery and you know where you're at with your consciousness, and you know where it's coming from, and you've learned how it works for you, that's how you build on your mediumship. And that's when your confidence also builds. So it's good to build on that. So yeah, if you want to sign up for the Power Series, that's going to be coming up soon. And there's also going to be my other one about doing the confidence. Why do you have to start opening from the root chakra to the third eye in that order, all the chakras one at a time instead of anyone randomly? Well, there needs to be some sort of methodology for it. I like to start at the root, make sure that you're connected to the earth, and then go through the chakras to connect up. But when you think about how the chakras work, it's a flow. You're connecting up to source, or you're connecting up to spirit, but you need to be well grounded. The most important thing to remember is the more grounded you are, the more higher frequency you can get. So it's knowing that you can move between them. If you're going to do random, have you ever had a graphic equalizer? If you imagine that your chakras are a graphic equalizer, I'm going to open this one now, and I'm going to open this one now, and then you find it funny. I don't know why I'm feeling dizzy today, or I don't know why I'm feeling this. You got to look for balance in all your chakras. So that's why I like to open them up that way, and then open them up down that way. But you can also let them come in from source and then go down to the earth. There's two different ways of doing it, and there's no wrong way of doing it. But if you have a methodology to doing it, and not just opening it up like a graphic equalizer, because otherwise, if you open up the heart space too much, you'll be over emotional. You wouldn't be able to cope with the situation that's going on, because your heart chakra will be too open. You would open it up too much, and then you'll get other things out of sync in your body. But if you make sure that you open up and you bring them down, you learn to master your own energy and your own chakras. And it's all about balance and not doing too much. But you definitely need high vibrational foods and thoughts, by the way, for your physical health as well. So there's double positive effect. Yes, Regine, and you would know. So it's good to have you here, because it is. I mean, the highest vibrational foods that you can eat is going to make a difference. Taking care of yourself, the right minerals, the right vitamins, is going to be the great foundation that you need within your mediumship. So yeah, do you want to be a medium? Yeah, then it's a journey, but it's a journey that you can take in joy. And I would say, if you're going to take it step by step, and learn from someone that that you can trust, that can guide you with common sense, and also in a nice grounded way that can take you to the next level within your mediumship. Can you explain what grounding is, and why exactly you must ground before you channel? There is some, I would say, grounding is connecting to the earth's energy, but if you Google grounding, you'll find a lot on it. There's a lot of scientific work done on grounding, that apparently if you walk barefoot outside, you're grounding. And when your feet contact the ground, there's an energy current that will go up and down your feet. It even activates antioxidants within your body. It's been measured. There's a guy that wrote a book about it, and I think if you just look up grounding, Google it, you'll find lots of information on it there, and just look for the science behind it. I mean, it's fantastic. People have actually had less pain, been sleeping better, because they've been connecting to that earth energy as much as possible. So you can physically ground, or you can energetically ground. Will listening to subliminal messages help with channeling? Will that help penetrate the subconscious and remove doubt? Well, subliminal messages can help so far, but at the end of the day, it's up to you, because your choice is what you do. So if you choose to move forward within something, and you believe in it in confidence, and you believe that you can do it, you'll have more chance of achieving it. Subliminal messages, you can be playing them for years, but if you still haven't got the confidence, it's not going to move forward in that. So I'm going to stop this here, because we've gone a little bit over time. But yeah, do you want to be a medium? If you do, yes, sit in the power. Raise your vibration, eat high vibrational foods, make sure that you're looking after yourself and thinking positive about yourself, and bringing that out into the world. And just know that, if you can follow courses, sit in groups, do 10,000 hours of work on it, and trust in yourself and your ability, and trust in the divine plan, right? If you can trust in the divine plan, that you're in the right space at the right time, listening to the right message, getting the right information, then that's what you need. And once you can trust that, and you trust that you're in the right space at the right time, and know that divine planning is bringing you in the right space, in the right timing, then it takes away the stress of having to run. You don't need to run. Just take it step by step. Enjoy your development, and like I did. So if you like this, please give me a like, and I look forward to catching you next time. Thank you, guys, and catch you next week, same time.